Hi everyone, this is Christy with Paper Order Disorder, and I have a new project to show you guys, a Valentine's Day project. And this is using my Xplosion Box pattern that I wrote a while ago, a couple years ago. And so I use this gorgeous paper by Authentique, and I'll write the name of it below. And I used quite a bit of black POW paper, POW, paper, and that's by American Crafts. And you can see on here, I've got this POW paper right here, and you can see how beautiful that glitter paper is. It just kind of dances. And what's really nice about it is it's completely smooth and it doesn't shed. I just love it to pieces. So anywho, I've used, on the top here, I've used a Tim Holtz knob up here, and it's kind of like the porcelain one. And this paper is just so very pretty with its script and its scrolls and its flowers, and it's got a lace print on here. And I'll just go ahead and turn this around. And also I've added some half-inch, they're about a half-inch, maybe a smidgy more, 5/8 inch tall knobs on the bottom. And I will tell you that if you're going to add feet to the bottom of one of my Xplosion boxes, you don't want to go any bigger than this because it can really throw off your box, and it can add extra stress onto the sides. So try not to go any larger than these. But so there's the knobs on the bottom, and those are painted with gloss black. And it's just a gorgeous paper that I have been waiting to use. And so basically this album is kind of it's Valentine's Day, but it's more kind of like a romantic, just a celebration of your marriage or your relationship. And so of course it opens up, and it's quite a large one as usual. And here in the center you can see I've added some mirrors cut in the shape of hearts, and those are cut out from a Tim Holtz die, and I use the Tim Holtz mirror. And let me show you what that looks like. It's this one right here. So I just cut this out of the mirror and went ahead and I built these up with chipboard on the base. So stinking cute. And on here, now I do think that this album is probably, in my opinion, I think it's about the prettiest album I've ever made. It's most definitely the most feminine. And I've done almost all of it because this paper didn't have embellishments, or at least I didn't have the embellishments for it. I had to hand make all of them, which took longer, but the final effect is just really lovely, and so it really gave me an opportunity to make my own embellishments, which you guys know I love to do. So here I've used a lot of Martha Stewart and EK Success punches throughout, but this one just really came out lovely, and I put in a rhinestone in the center here, and I put kind of a hot pink background back behind here so that I could still use the punched black and add a splash of color. And inside each one of these pockets, I used the envelopes, and these are the same envelopes that I used in my typography album last year, and I've added a magnetic closure. And so we've got this black and white polka dot on the top, and this pale pink with black polka dot here, and a hound's tooth up here. And then on the inside of these, oh, so cute. So you just give them a little pinch, and these pull out, and look, it's a little script. It's like a little letter, and you could, do a little bit of journaling, add a teeny weeny picture, or they're just so stinking cute. I just love these little envelopes. I just love them. I just want to play with them all day long. I didn't add anything to the back because, again, they're so small that I wanted to leave this area open for maybe a photo or a little love note that you could write on there with like a white gel pen or a silvery type pen. And down here, this paper is so pretty. So this has a bunch of postal marks, stamps, and cancellation postal stamps, and like that, all the way through airmail and such. And that's what motivated me to inspired me to use the envelopes here. And then inside this first layer, and of course this is like 4 albums attached in the center, and in this very first layer we have this one, and this one is so cute. If you can see on here, let me zoom in just a smidgy. So on this one I used it was actually one of the cut aparts. Oh, it's not picking up quite, but you can see it's kind of reflecting back, but it is black POW paper right there, and then it's got a boy, I don't know why that's not focusing in. Let me try it again. Oh, I know why, because I'm doing the wrong thing. Sorry about that. So silly of me. I'm hitting the wrong button. No wonder why it won't focus in. Okay, so on here, and I still don't have it. Oh my goodness. Thank you for your patience. Okay, hey, look, there we go. Okay, so, and it's so pretty that I just had to show it to you guys. But I didn't have a way to cut out chipboard out of this size heart. So what I did is I just, these actually came, this was like the scraps, the confetti that's left over, through another punch that I used back right here. Okay, so this punch right here, which is a deep edge Martha Stewart, I used the scraps of that both in just regular black cardstock and in the POW paper, and I layered and I just glued them together. So if you want a piece of something thick like a piece of chipboard that's very strong and robust and can come off of the edge of something like this without damaging, but you can't cut it out of chipboard, just cut it out of your cardstock and glue layers of it together. So that is, I believe, 4 layers of cardstock plus a piece of POW on top. And then I've just added in a piece of a little rhinestone, a heart-shaped rhinestone in the center. And this booklet has its paper on both front and back. Really pretty gray and white heart damask. This is not from the paper line, the Authentique. It's just something that I had in my craft room. But this opens up, so you've got 2 areas here for photos and journaling. And so that one just goes and slides right back into this first layer here. And then in this, on the back side here, let me show you this. On the back side here, we have this great black with white polka dot. Again, this is not from the collection, although I don't know why they didn't add a black and white polka dot with this paper line, because it really, really needed it. So this is something I added, these 2 sheets I added to the collection. And then up here, I used some more of that black POW, which you can punch. Some punches you can punch through the POW paper, and some of them you can't. And so you just have to try it and see. Like, for example, this one was too intricate to punch through the POW paper cleanly. It can get a little frayed because it's dense. It punches cleaner than regular glitter paper that's very chunky, but it doesn't work with every single punch. So anywho, I did it with the POW paper, and in order to get some contrast so that you can actually see the detail of the punch, I've added some more of this hot pink with a tiny little scallop border. This one is a Martha Stewart. This tiny little scallop here is an EK Success, which of course they're both made by EK Success. Both Martha Stewart. And here we go on our second row. We have on here, again, I have done this one. Now this one barely punched out of the POW paper. Just barely. I was kind of on the fence as to whether that would work or not, but it really looks lovely. And so again, this is another, you've got the hearts upside down and right side up on here. And then I left a little 1/4-inch border down here of the POW paper. And again, on these, on the Xplosion box, each one of the little photo mats, it's a small area, so I don't tend to use larger embellishments, because then it takes up the whole area of opportunities for photos. And of course, you know, that's what we want to do with our photo albums, is we need to make sure we have room for photos, plus we want to be able to enjoy our paper. So in using just a small punch, which is why I got so punch heavy in this one, and I often do with my Xplosion boxes, is because I want to make sure that we're still saving room for the main attraction, which is our pictures and our journaling. We got to add our pictures and tell our story. So that's why I went kind of crazy with the punches. So on here, I've also, on the angle, if you can see here, I've added a strip of the POW paper, and one strip of that a sheet of POW paper goes a long way because it only takes just a little bit to really make things pop. So you can cut it off in little 1/8 inch strips like that and just really add some pizzazz to your paper. So up here, these come out, and I have a fabric. You can see it's kind of sheer. Really great. I thought about using a satin, but I really like the texture, and it's a little less it's a little unexpected to not have the satin there, and I have added paper to both sides here, a houndstooth, and then we have kind of a trendy geometric black and white heart print there. And then this whole section here has that gorgeous POW paper there. I just love that it doesn't shed. Oh my goodness. Such a big deal. I love glitter, but I hate to have it everywhere. I hate to be covered in glitter. Okay, and so on the second one here, we've got this gorgeous script, which is the same as what was in those tiny little envelopes. That same great fabric pull. And then I've got the houndstooth on the back here. And you can see when this is pulled out that we go the plaid, the POW, and then the plaid again in our zigzag page right there. So these just slide back in. Lots of opportunities for, and remember, all of this that I'm showing you is ×4 because it has exactly the same thing on all sides. So on the back side of this, I added this adorable punch. I believe this was a Martha Stewart, kind of a pansy punch. I do not know the name of it, but I do know they still make it because I haven't had it that long. Again, we have the POW paper up here, and then I gave it some contrast with that hot pink. Used some more of that great black and white polka dot paper. Kind of nondescript, just goes with everything, which really tied in just perfectly with this larger scale that has a black polka dot in it. It just really complemented the paper well. And I used the same paper up here with a 1-inch epoxy dot and a flattened bottle cap. And you can see, again, more of that POW paper. I fell in love with it, and it really just needed to be everywhere. And down here, again, this was punched with more POW paper. And I used the negatives for some of the embellishments. Some more hot pink back there. And these, I did leave these to where you could still slide a piece up and under in the center here. This is up a little bit. Oh no, I might have glued all those down, but these are up in the center here. It's not letting me in, but it is. There we go. So you can put your picture just slightly underneath these scallops if need be. And so it gives you a little more options. Like this one's a little larger because it's such a deep punch, and so you would be able to put ticket stubs and such. Instead of putting a picture here, you could just tuck a photo into this pocket right here and take it out to look at it, and you still get to enjoy this beautiful rose here. So these, like I said, have a magnetic closure on them. And so those open up, and then you just give it a little pinch. And in here, we've got a nice big photo mat and this great light pink and gray and white argyle. And I just left it black on the back for journaling. And those just slide in there. I love the magnetic closures. And then on the back of this one, again, we have that kind of geometric, trendy heart, black and white. And this is such a gorgeous punch up here. Now, this is one of those that did not do well with the POW paper. So what I did was I just punched it out of the regular card. And then I just trimmed it out with a little strip of, I believe that's 3/8 inch of POW paper so that we still kind of get that effect of that beautiful glitter paper. even though it doesn't punch well. And then in the center here, it did punch a circle right there where that rhinestone is, but I think it just really added just that extra little bit to really kind of center it and make it special right there. And again, like I was showing, you can still slide a picture just up underneath there. So it kind of looks like everything was done at the same time. Like the pictures were added at the same time the album was built, which gives kind of just a more custom finished feel to it. So over here, and this is our fourth layer here, I used another Martha Stewart punch, and this is one of the deep edge trims, and I believe this was a doily trim. I could be mistaken. But on here I have added some rhinestones to the center of each one of the flowers, and they're fairly sizable rhinestones, not gigantic. They're about 1/4 inch. And then we have our quad fold booklet, and this is going exactly off of my pattern. All the dimensions are exactly the same with the same interactives. So this slides out of that little belly band and opens up, and I've got some more of that gray and white damask on the back, and this gorgeous pink and white kind of a fishnet lace look on the front. And then I just left everything open in here for photos and journaling, and so you can get lots in there, and it closes up. And when you slide it underneath the doily trim, I've used a punch, and again, I didn't have, this was an EK Success punch that punches about a 1-inch-ish heart, and I punched it 4 times out of black cardstock, glued them together, and then punched it out again out of black POW and glued that on top. And I created this a more robust embellishment, and then I popped it up so that it acts as a stopper for this, and it's popped up so that this can slide underneath there, and it works as a stopper so that this doesn't slide any further down. And so I just love that. Just love using stoppers with belly bands. And so then, oh, and there's this gorgeous, oh, I did add this one too. This is, again, is not part of the collection, but again, I think it just, there wasn't quite enough black for contrast in this paper line, but it's very easy to add it in. So whenever you find gray and whites and black and whites, or white with black prints on paper, it's always a good idea to get extra of that because it's going to lend itself very well to other paper lines, and so you'll be glad you had it, like I am. So in here, this one, row 4, flips out, and I've created, again, this one didn't do so well on the POW paper. It wasn't giving the crisp edge that I wanted, so I just added this nice wide 3/4 inch band of POW paper down here, and this one is just kind of a tension binding, and so I just took one of the 3x4 cut-aparts from the collection. And it's a stripe on the back. I'm not going to leave it on there. I know that makes everybody dizzy. But some more journaling, and then you can add photo on the back to kind of get rid of some of those stripes that I'm not going to show you again. And then again, that just holds in there with a tension, or by tension. And over here, I used a little, it is a photo holder corner, and it's a teeny tiny little, let me see if I can find it. It's by EK Success. And I just love it. It's the first time that I had an opportunity to use it. And look how adorable this little guy is. So you can just slide this in, and so this can pop. I'm not going to pop it out because I won't be able to get it back in there one-handed. But this gray piece will pop right out, so you can just pop that out, and slide your picture in there, and then these little hearts just hold it right in place. Super cute stuff. Again, we have some more of this plaid back here. And then back to row 5, which is our last row. And again, some of that great paper that has the cancellation stamps and postage stamps and lots of script and just really lovely kind of a little larger scale which really lends itself well to the largest area of the album, which is back here and, of course, on the outside. So on here, now this one was the same die. It was a mover and shaper by Tim Holtz that that I used to cut out a piece of black chipboard and also a piece of the black POW paper and glued them together. And I also added a magnetic closure here. So this opens up here, and then it also opens up here. And so you've got this nice wide display area for your larger photos. And again, I have left this as long as you're really, really careful, because this is such a gorgeous punch. But it is kind of delicate. So, it's not something that you'd want to slide stuff in and out of on a regular basis, but to tuck in a little momentums or mementos, you could slide that in there, or a photo underneath. And so it just really gives kind of this wrought iron look, very classy, beautiful, beautiful punch. I love it too. Just love it to pieces. And so, as I said, I didn't show you the back side of this one. Silly me. So on this one, we have some more of that argyle. And this one, surprisingly enough, again, another deep edge Martha Stewart punch. And this one punched out really well out of that black POW paper. And it just has such a great effect without giving you too much depth. And you can see on here, no excess glitter. There's nothing at all left over. So it's not constantly shedding, which I just love. I just love, love, love POW paper. And so on this one, so I've set this up as for the X box, which works really well for, it works just so very well for Valentine's Day, or a love type album, because it's, X's and O's. So, super cute. And, all of these areas, I don't even know how many areas there are for photos in this, but I haven't ever counted them up, but let's just say a lot, because everything that's in here is ×4. So I hope you guys are going to have a wonderful Valentine's Day, or this would be a really great one for an anniversary too, or for a wedding present. I think would just be absolutely lovely. And, just use pretty black and white, silver type papers, and add in their wedding colors. Just a splash of color would just be so, so very lovely. So I'd love to see what you guys come up with using the pattern. And if you guys are interested in making it with me, you guys can click the link below, and that'll take you straight to my Etsy shop, where I have the pattern with all of the videos that go with it, and take you step by step through how to build just one just like this, just of your own. So thank you so very much for watching. See you later.